Good day, dear students, dear colleagues and guests of our event. I'm delighted to welcome you all today to our webinar as we continue our annual tradition within the framework of our social and educational project called Thematic Lectures and Masterclasses from Transport Industry Practitioners. Let me share a bit more information, a bit more details about this project. Project mission is to build a continuous intellectual bridge between education and practice in the transport and logistics sector, education, business, innovation. For students, this is a great opportunity to learn more about the industry, the challenges they may face, and how they can be solved. For speakers, it's a chance to share their knowledge and experience and contribute to the next generation in our industry. This year marks a very special milestone for us. We are celebrating the 10th anniversary of these initiatives, which began back in 2015. What started at Odesa National Maritime University as a series of small meetings with industry experts has grown into an international platform connecting universities, businesses, and future specialists. 10 years is more than just time. It represents generations of students, dozens of invited experts, thousands of career stories, and a sincere dialogue between university and the real transport industry. Today, we have 4 organizers of this project, and I'm especially excited to introduce you our speaker, Mike Gerasymov, with the topic Maritime Business Transformations in the Agentic AI Era. Welcome, Mike. Thank you for being with us today.
Дуже дякую. Доброго дня. I'm going to speak in English as it was announced. First of all, because English is an international language of shipping. Thank you very much. It's my honor to be here with you today. Thank you for the introduction. I gave my first lecture in Odesa National Maritime University online about 10 years ago. So I think I was one of the first speakers in this format. And I gave a few more after that. And it's really a pleasure and honor for me to be invited again this year. It doesn't happen often, but I wanted to share something interesting with you. And it's remarkable that we can speak like this. I'm here in Singapore, and I understand most of you are in Ukraine now. We're meeting at a very challenging time, a time of war. Your generation, I'm talking to students now, is facing the greatest tragedy one can imagine. I was fortunate to begin my career in a peaceful period, and many years ago, I happened to immigrate to Singapore. I want to express my support for you and all of Ukraine, and I hope today's lecture brings some positivity and optimism about the future. This is what I will focus on. So today, we're speaking about maritime business transformation in the Agentic AI era, innovations, AI, and skills for the next decade. My name is Mike Gerasymov. It is December 2025. Are you prepared for the maritime industry of today? Are you prepared for the maritime industry of tomorrow? These are the main questions, and we will try to answer them today. Our plan for today. I'm going to start with my journey. I think it's relevant. It's relevant today, and it's relevant to this topic as well. First of all, because I'm speaking mostly to the students, and you all start your journey in your careers today, and maybe something that I share today will be useful for you. So maybe at the end of this presentation, you will say, oh, I liked what that guy said, and I want to use his positive experience and apply it in my future career. Or you might not like what I said, and then it will be also useful because you will say, oh, I don't like what you said, and you will not make my mistakes. Then either way, you will hopefully benefit from this lecture. So first will be my journey, and I'll spend a bit of time for that. Second, we will speak about the 3 categories of artificial intelligence. That's general knowledge, but it's pretty modern knowledge. In the next section, I'm going to show you key AI applications in maritime, my view on how it can be applied, and I'm going to give you some examples of how it has been applied already. In the next section, I'm going to take a massive risk. I'm going to do something live, and we'll remember presentations like Tesla, where it was a clear failure on the stage. I'm taking that risk. I know it's wrong, but nevertheless, I'm a risk manager. I'm willing to try it. So we will try to build a simple AI agent. right here online. The last section will be Q&A, questions and answers. And you can see that there is another A after Q&A. And I left it here for a purpose because it wasn't my intention to write it, but this is how modern AI works. It simply hallucinates. It didn't hallucinate in other cases, but this A will stay here to remind us that not everything that AI says is accurate. Before we proceed, several disclaimers. Everything I share today reflects my personal views. It doesn't represent the official position of any company or organization I work for or I have worked with. When I mention companies, products, or technologies, it is for educational illustration only. I'm not paid to promote any of them, and my descriptions may be subjective or incomplete. Some parts of this lecture discuss future trends in maritime and AI. These are personal predictions, not guarantees, and may change as the industry evolves. All information shared today is for general educational use and should not be taken as professional, legal, technical, or financial advice. Some video clips come from publicly available YouTube channels. They are used solely for educational, commentary, and review purposes. All rights remain with original creators, and this non-commercial presentation doesn't replace or affect the market value of the original work. Introduction. As I promised, I'm from Odessa. I studied in the Odesa National Maritime University, graduated in 2006. I'm the third generation of graduates of Odesa National Maritime University. My grandparents graduated from the same university. My father graduated from it as well. You can see me as a small kid in my grandfather's uniform. That grandfather graduated from Odesa National Maritime University. He sailed after that and worked at port as well. Some of you may be familiar with the stage. It is a stage. I spent quite some time on it. And I'm very proud to say that I'm the third generation and that I graduated from this particular university. A little bit about my career. First of all, you can see the QR code on the screen. If you scan this QR code, you will get to my LinkedIn page. Feel free to add me, follow me, or do neither. If you want to speak with me personally, you can always drop me a line via LinkedIn. So this is the way for us to get connected on a personal level if you wish. I post lots of interesting stuff about maritime industry and about my work on LinkedIn, so feel free to follow me. You can see some companies that I've worked for in the last 20 plus years. These are just very few of them, and the list of some of my roles. Now, a little bit about my education, simply to put in context my presentation today, because you might ask, like, why is this guy even talking about things he's talking about? And I have a bit of justification to that. Again, it might be interesting to see for you, for the students, because we don't finish our education with university. We have to study throughout our lives. And I think I tried my best to do it. Moving on. So, what is artificial intelligence? You can find a few definitions online. Artificial, I think, is quite clear. The biggest problem is I in AI. What is intelligence at all? I don't have an answer to that. I tried to find one. It's impossible. Apparently, it's subjective because scientists also couldn't give us a clear answer of what intelligence is. So anyway, I think we're all on the same page. We understand more or less what it is. So we can go and look at the three main categories of artificial intelligence. These are functional categories. It's a non-scientific approach. It's more of a practical approach to the AI. So one, we can call it a classic or predictive AI most frequently. The traditional machine learning is also a part of it. It became practically available between 2000 and 2010, but theoretically it's been known for ages. Usually these are the systems that analyze and forecast. I'm going to give you some examples and I'm going to tell a little bit more about this later. The next category is generative AI. And this is a truly new development in the AI world, and the first generative AIs became practically available between 2020 and 2022. And I'm sure you all know them. They were GPT-3 in 2020 and ChatGPT in 2022. It's not only about generating text. It's about creating new content. That content can be a text. That content can be an image. For instance, what comes to my mind, like ChatGPT can also generate images. No, but if you look at something like Midjourney software, you'll see how amazing that AI model is. In terms of what it can generate, it can also generate a video, of course, and you can see some latest quite realistic and impressive models that generate video. It can generate music, it can generate voice, it basically can generate anything. So generative AI is a true breakthrough in the AI technology. The latest category, which is an absolutely brand new, and most people haven't started feeling the impact of these models yet. It's called Agentic AI, and Agentic AI wouldn't be possible without generative AI. In particular, one type of generative AI is called LLM. LLM stands for Large Language Model. So Agentic AI is something that can perform certain actions in some sequence. It can decide itself what sequence it should take. It can speak natural language. That's the most important thing, because we all are quite familiar with algorithms where we just program something. We have to pass the bit of information from here to there. And if that bit is not 100% what is expected, that program will not work at all. LLMs allowed these algorithms not to be 100% precise. So we can now act in the environment of uncertainty. And in this sense, it pretty much reminds us, humans, us. Because imagine a specialist on a particular job. Probably that specialist is supposed to know about 90 and 95% of his or her work, and he knows how to act in some situations, but not everything is written on the paper. You can't write every single situation. You can't predict it. So realistically, people act in the environment of some uncertainty. On top of that, people speak language, and people accept information via language as well. And it's tricky, because what I think might be not 100% what I say. And what you hear, what you understand from me, might be not 100% what I was saying. So there is always some element of ambiguity in the natural language. So large language models learned how to deal with that ambiguity. It's a very interesting big topic. I suggest you Google some articles on how large language models actually work. But I can tell you that on a surface, they mimic a natural language that they learned from people. So the pure foundation model doesn't have any intelligence by itself. It's just that you throw some words on it, and it throws some words back. But because it learned that massive amount of information, the words that it throws you back kind of make sense. And this is the biggest magic about this LLM. But that foundation model is not enough. That foundation model cannot perform tasks by itself. But what it can do, it can act as a translating tool between algorithms and humans. It can do something that is very familiar to us humans, the reasoning. It can ask questions. Why do I do this? What do I think should be done next? And then using that LLM, it receives answers that surprisingly make sense. So when you use these LLMs, generative AI, language AIs, as an intermediary tools in your workflow, you can optimize lots of things, and you can actually automate lots of things that people perform. When those LLMs use traditional tools and the computing power of our PCs, they can do amazing things, because they can create large files, they can send thousands, millions of emails, potentially. They can chat with other people, and from the human perspective, there is no limit to that capacity. This is a true breakthrough in the technology. Now, a little bit, a couple of examples. So classic or predictive AI. You may be very familiar with this technology. It's been there for a very long time. For instance, Netflix and YouTube recommendation systems. So what Netflix and YouTube and many other companies did, they learned the patterns. They learned the patterns of other people. They learned the patterns of millions of people. And in this particular case, they learned their preferences. So if one person watched movie A and then watched movie B, that if we simplify it, that creates a link between A and B. And if there is another person that is in some sense similar to this person, and when we're talking about millions, there will be people that are similar. We can group them by preferences, by types, by age, by we don't really know. Sometimes we find very interesting patterns that we've never seen before. So that creates a link. And when another person watches another movie, that system learns to predict what that person would want to watch next. And it proposes to watch that particular movie or the range of movies. So this is how classic AI works. I think another example, I'll try to make it relevant to the maritime industry. Another example that students usually learn is to create a model that will predict a price of a house. So let's say it's not a house, but it's a vessel, it's a ship in the maritime industry. I'll tell you why it will not work for maritime industry for this particular case, but I think it will be just interesting to look at it from the maritime perspective. So imagine we have a number of transactions, a large number of transactions, sale and purchase transactions. Ships are being bought and sold every day, massive number. Ships are different. They're different by deadweight, by their capacity. They are different by the shipyard they were built at. They are different by their age as well. They are different by their engines, the shape of hulls, speed and consumption. So there are quite many parameters that influence the price of a particular vessel. So if we have enough data, we can run some math and create an AI model using the tools of machine learning to determine the price of another ship that we've never seen. That ship might be, let's say we have, I will simplify it for you. Let's say we have a ship of 48,000 deadweight and a ship of 50,000 deadweight. And now we want to find the price of a ship with 49,000 deadweight. It's something in the middle. But this is only on deadweight. There are other parameters, other dimensions. So when the price only depends on the deadweight, then we can easily run these calculations in our mind, and we can say, okay, the price must be something in between these two. But we have a second dimension, that is age. We have third dimension, which is a shipyard. We have fourth, speed, consumption, etc., etc. So there are many parameters, and this is where this classic AI or predictive AI comes and creates value. Generative AI. Generative AI, as I said, creates text, creates pictures. And for this example, I asked ChatGPT first to tell me the future of shipping. This is a ridiculous question, but it was interesting to see the answer. So what you see on the screen was generated by ChatGPT. And let's take a look. I said, predict future of shipping in 5 short bullet points. Don't ask questions. I know that ChatGPT likes asking questions like, you want this, you want that. And this is, by the way, the trait of not LLM. It's not a large language model. LLM doesn't ask questions usually. LLM gives answers. This is an example of Agentic AI that is already inbuilt in ChatGPT. There is a set of rules somewhere next to LLM that LLM uses when we make a request. So they look into the rule book and they read and they're like, okay, I have to ask questions. I have to ask my user to specify the request. So let's take a look. What is the future of shipping? Autonomous and semi-autonomous vessels will become mainstream. AI-driven optimization will cut fuel. Green fuels will scale as regulation tighten. Digital platforms will unify cargo, port, and vessel data, removing manual processes. I will touch on this later. And geopolitics and climate disruptions will push companies toward diversified routes and resilient supply chains. So the last one is more political, and other are technological, and there is a lot about artificial intelligence and this prediction. And then I also asked ChatGPT to generate a picture, how it sees the future of shipping, and the picture on the left is exactly what I got from ChatGPT. I actually liked it, yeah, so hard from me. Thank you. Agentic AI. This is the very, very new technology, and the mainstream companies are competing now in this technology. It's not mature enough. It's not ready for the end users yet. So we're testing it. I think I'm one of the early adopters of Agentic AI in this sense, and I will be happy to share a little bit of my experience in the real Agentic AI builder called Copilot Studio. This is something that Microsoft offers. There are other companies that offer similar solutions. How do shipping companies work today? It's a very interesting hybrid, because when I see this technology like Agentic AI, I'm thinking, wow, it's revolutionary. It can change everything. And it's already available now, so I can go and change the world with it. But what I cannot change is people. People will stick to the way they've been doing things for years. People don't like changes in general. So we have to, even if those changes are in their favor, it's very difficult for a person to change the way they worked, especially if they worked for a very long time. So I think the biggest barrier on the way of implementation of these technologies are us, people. Some people will be more adoptive, others less. So old technologies, old way of doing things will be connected to the very modern technologies, and some solutions will be on the surface, and they will scream like, take me, do this optimization, get the value out of it. But your people, or our people, us, will not be ready to do that. It doesn't happen for the first time in our history. I think what's happening today is in some sense similar to the industrialization that happened in various countries, different periods, but in general, let's say 150 years ago. Industrialization replaced lots of jobs, but as you can see today, it doesn't mean that we all potentially lost an opportunity to be a farmer, because if we didn't have a technology, we would be farmers today. But we created new industries, we created new opportunities. Something like international tourism didn't exist before. Now it's a huge industry. Entertainment, services, even YouTubers, they also, in some sense, create value and they get paid. So we automate some things. When we automate those things, it doesn't mean that the value is being taken away from us. No, the value, especially in a fair society and a democratic society, stays with people, and people just get released to create another value. So I'm very positive about it. I know that some of us will suffer during this transition, but if we're open-minded, if we're ready to have fun, if we're ready to learn, then we'll be on this journey together with others, and you want to be ahead of others in this journey. This is really interesting. Okay, reimagining maritime workflows and leaving the UI era. UI stands for user interface. So what we can do, you saw from these examples, we can optimize lots of things. We can potentially automate lots of things. You can't do it, you can't redesign workflows immediately. You can, but it will not work simply because people are not ready. I'm not saying that's impossible, that's practically challenging. You can always come up with your idea and build a startup or build a new business in a totally new way. And I think it is possible, And it's a great opportunity for new companies now to take over market shares if they start doing things in a significantly new way, if they start applying new technologies and use the innovations. It happened many times in the history. You can look at some interesting examples, classic examples, when you might be not very familiar with a company called Blockbuster in Ukraine, but it was a big thing in the US before Netflix came up with their idea of online streaming. So Blockbuster used to run some shops where you could rent movies on the compact disc or other older devices, but you had to return it. So it was like pre-online era. And then Netflix came and they used a new technology and they completely killed that old business that was very solid at some point. And you can see many examples when new technology, new tech is coming in and completely takes over the market, and then you just forget those old names. I think it is a great opportunity for the maritime industry as well today, because we've got an absolutely new technology. And for you students today, I suggest, I recommend you pay a lot of attention to doing things in a new way. But of course, you have to learn how business operates first. So you've got some time. The changes are coming. They are coming rapidly, but trust me, you have time, maybe 10, 15 years for the next 10, 15 years. All these changes will be gradually implemented. User interface. This is another interesting example. It's not just about user interface. So you saw from some of these examples that you can get data from complex databases by using LLMs, by using AI agents. It's much easier you can just ask your ChatGPT to read a document of 500 pages and summarize it, give some answers to the questions. You can't scroll through the document. It will take you days to find an answer to your question, but LLM will do it easier. This brings us to the idea that data, you can get data, you can source data directly without using complex platforms, complex interfaces. You don't need that data to be presented to you in a convenient way anymore. You can get it presented to you in a way you want at any particular moment. Think about it. It changes everything. Potentially, it makes platforms and UIs obsolete. Maybe we wouldn't need them in future in the same way as we had before. And I'm coming back to the example of Netflix, because Netflix is a well-known company. So if you look at the Netflix today, you'll see that it's very different to the Netflix that was there about 5 to 10 years ago. What has changed? Netflix started producing their own movies. Why? It's not just because they had so much money and they needed to invest somewhere. No, that was vital for their business. Because what brought them to the top of the world initially, a platform, didn't keep them on the top anymore. And you can see that the share price started declining significantly. What happened here is that platform by itself, it's very convenient. At some point, it brings customers, it brings the flow of revenue, but it's pretty easy to replicate any platform, and especially today. The software that took probably 2-3 years to build before, in the previous decade, now can be built for a few months or maybe for a few weeks. So the platform, the UI, is not that important anymore, in my personal opinion. So what Netflix decided to do, they realized that, first, let's say Disney realized that why would we sell our movies via Netflix? We can build our own platform, and they built their own platform called Disney Plus. So you can now get Disney movies directly from Disney, and other movie producing companies did the same. So Netflix started losing that competitive edge, and they realized that what the most important thing is, it is a content. Content equals data here. So this is the most important element in the future. Think about it. So basically, you can build an AI agent these days for only 10, 20 minutes, and it will do something for you. And let me show, I made one just before this presentation, and I wanted to share with you. Okay, very quickly. So what you can see on your screen is a Copilot studio. It's not exactly the same as Copilot. It is a studio where you create agents. It is a Microsoft platform. The reason I picked this one is because I have access to this one. It's just for convenience. So we click New Agent. What happens here? You receive two options. One option, you speak to Copilot, which is another AI agent, and you say, I want to create an agent. So basically it asks you, you can explain how to build, what you want to build. I can say, I want this agent to be a P&I insurance assistant, and then I say it should use the knowledge base I provide, and it can also go to internet for other information. Let's see what happens. So P&I insurance agent. P&I insurance is our main insurance in the maritime industry. It's called protection and indemnity. There are two ways of building AI agent. One way is to talking to the AI agent creator, another AI agent, as we speak right now. This is like a mama agent that creates a baby, and you just explain to mama what you want to build. Another way I'll show you in another tab, in this tab. It's a little bit more technical, but it's still done in the natural language. The agent is now set up to act as a P&I insurance assistant using your provided knowledge base, blah, blah, blah. I suggest the name, P&I insurance assistant. Would you like? I can just say yes, and it will create one. Let's look at this tab. So the information that you can see here has already been filled up by the mama agent. I didn't write it myself, so these are instructions. Knowledge base, I will add my own files here, and I'll switch now my screen to the agent that I created right before this presentation, and I'll show you what you might get like in about 10 minutes, but we'll skip those 10 minutes chatting with the agent. So this is an agent called P&I Assistant, expert advisor for protection and indemnity, P&I marine insurance, assisting users, blah, blah, blah. It uses GPT 4.1 as a LLM model. You can select other models like 5, GPT 4o. It doesn't use any triggers. Potentially, it can get triggered by some events, like someone sends email or someone creates a file. So this agent can react to the events like that. And this is a set of instructions. You can see that we ask, so basically we explain in a natural language what we want this agent to do. So before, when we wrote programs like this, we had to use coding. For instance, Python, or when I started at school, I studied Turbo Pascal, for instance. So now you can code in a natural English language. That's a game changer. Everyone can code now, but it doesn't mean you can say whatever you want. You still have to think in terms of algorithm. You want to explain to your agent what you expect that agent to do in a similar way as if you explained it to a human. Let's say someone comes to your department and you explain them, okay, if you face a situation like this, you act like that. You go to this folder, you get that file, you send an email, you chat with that person. Everything the same, you can explain in a natural language to your AI agent. This is Agentic AI. I attached several documents here. I want to show you what these documents are. I found them on internet. So there are 3 files here. They are all kind of handbooks for maritime claims. Let's open the first one. This is a huge file from my good friends Gard. I've been working with them for years. I found this on internet. It's publicly available. You can see that it is a file that has about 600 pages. And basically, it explains a lot about all types of P&I claims. And there are so many of them related to cargo, related to people, all kind of liabilities. So 600 pages, it takes years to learn and understand it. And even if you have this file with you and you are a professional, to go to this file and check your hypothesis about a particular claim, it takes time. And what if you are dealing with a situation in urgency? What if you have to urgently act? Can you get some advices? Can you find them quickly? So this is one file. Another file I'll show you, it's Master's Handbook from the Protection and Indemnity Association. So this is also a relatively large file with 100 pages. You can see it explains some provisions about insurance. And the last file is P&I guidelines, where they split. This is, I think it's written for captains on board of the ship. Imagine captain dealing with a situation of urgency. He has to get instructions immediately, like what to do. What if my cargo got damaged? What if stevedores got injured, or someone's from crew members? So they're supposed to have it somewhere ready, and you can see personal injuries, stevedore damage, marine pollution. Marine pollution is another case of urgency, right? You have to contain your spill immediately. Of course, they know what to do, but they need to get P&I club insurance involved, appoint surveyors, etc., etc. So 3 files like this, they're pretty complex. I linked all of them to this agent. I gave it to him, and I said, look, use these files when I chat with you. And I also gave a website. You can add as many as you want. I said, this is a North Standard, P&I Club. You can go and get information from their websites. You can see phrases here, instructions like provide practical and helpful advice, but avoid being prescriptive. Always act as an advisor, not an instructor. Yeah, this is first thing that came to my mind. I didn't work hard on this agent. You can improve it. So I made it. It took me like 20 minutes to make it. Now we can test it. Hello, I'm P&I assistant, virtual assistant. You can change this text as well. So, hey, I need your help. Let's see. This is live. I don't know what to expect from it. And what you see on the right is the front end. This is what happens with user. What users see. What you see in the central area on the left side is back end of this software. So normally you don't see it, but in this particular case, it demonstrates how it works on both sides. Why it? How can I help you today? Let's say my cargo got damaged. My cargo got damaged. So it goes through the sources and searches for the relevant information. Let's see if it can give me a reasonable, sensible response. So it says, when cargo is damaged, P&I insurance typically covers liabilities and costs arising from a breach of the contract of carriage. Here are some key considerations and typical procedures. Notification. Promptly notify your P&I club or liability insurance. Work closely with your P&I club to gather evidence. Let's say, help me notify my club, P&I club. Again, it quickly goes through the documents. It collects the information that can be useful in this case, and it will respond in a natural language. So what we got here is to notify your P&I club about the cargo damage. Here is a practical approach based on best practices and official guidance. As soon as possible after discovering the damage, prepare and send a notification that includes date, time, location, type, nature. So you can see it's quite a sensible approach. Keep thorough documentation and preserve all evidence, physical and electronic. Communicate clearly. So it's unlikely that you will get a response like this from your general LLM, like ChatGPT. It will give you some response, but you might have noticed that a pure general LLM doesn't have a great specialized knowledge. But this Agentic AI can search particular knowledge base and give you a response on the basis of that knowledge base. And you can always verify, like you can ask like, oh, why? Where is it written that I have to do this or that? Yeah, and it will continue assisting you. You can ask it to draft an email. I hope it will understand that I'm talking about a notification email. Here is a draft email. Imagine how much time you save if, for instance, if you're on board of the vessel and as a captain or a chief mate, you have to notify your P&I club. You have to know a lot of information. You're busy with the situation as well. Like you don't have much time. But here comes an email. All you need to do is just like fill up information about yourself, your vessel. But again, you can give your AI information about your vessel. So it can get all these pieces of data from there. So you will get all the email notification will be almost ready. You just need to review it. I can tell you more. You can give access to your email system and it can send emails on your behalf. So you just say, yes, get the data from there and then send email to our P&I club. Everything will be done automatically. So you can see here, step by step, what it does, how long it takes. You see every step takes about 13, 14 seconds to complete. This is quite normal, considering that it goes through almost 1,000 of pages of complex specialized text. I promised you that I will tell you what skills are the most important for the next decade. It's my personal prediction, my personal opinion. There are two things that you want to have in the next decade. First is a domain knowledge, which means that you want to understand how your business works. You can't be just a person from another industry. You can't be just good with Agentic AI. You need to really understand what the processes are, how maritime business operates, how you create value, what the current workflows are, what the future workflows can look like. So this is very, very important. And the second important skill is algorithmization. And let me explain that one as well. It used to be coding, but today you can do algorithmizations in a natural language. So you need to understand, and you can practice with the humans. You need to understand how to give instructions, how to explain anything clearly to your colleagues, to your boss, to your team. You want them to understand you without ambiguity. If you succeed with that, if you know the steps that are required to perform certain business, and you can break it down to the little steps and say, okay, you do A and then you do B, and then if this, you go C, and if not, you go D. If you can explain it in a natural language, that will be already enough to build automation. You don't need Python or C or any other coding languages anymore. Okay, a positive message at the end of our presentation. It's not shipping related. I just wanted to share it with you because I liked it. Listen.
Now, after I finish working with you, I work with her. She's 9 years of age and she wants to go to run 100 meters. And I work with her for a few weeks. She goes to her first race. She lines up with another 7 kids. On your march, set, bang, runs down the track, hurls herself at the line. 8 out of 8 in 18 seconds. Comes back, oh, Mr. Dick, I was last. No, you weren't last. Yes, I was not. You were 18 seconds. What do you mean? Well, you've smashed the 20-second barrier. And I had you down for 19 seconds. You're a whole second faster than that. Do you know what this means? No, this means it's your lifetime best performance. Your own personal world record. Really? Yes. In some ways, you're a first. What do you mean? You're the first athlete I've ever coached who's run 18 seconds for the 100 meters. Now listen, in a few weeks' time, she's got another race. What does she think winning is now? If she does 17.9, she'll grab a flag and she'll run around the track. Because that's what winning is. Winning is being better today than you were yesterday. Every day. And if she keeps on working at that, in a few weeks' time, she's fighting with other kids to get to the line. And you might think to yourself, well, surely winning now, Frank, is beating them. Not if it's in 19 seconds, it's not. Or we've killed our definition. The reason you go into tough arenas in life is to be challenged to perform better. You cannot perform better if you're not challenged. Listen, you don't learn to climb mountains in life by going round them or asking somebody for a ladder. You learn to climb mountains by climbing mountains, by seeking out the really toughest challenges, because that makes you perform better. When you keep on going at that, one day you'll be a one and only. But the truth is, she always was, is, and will be.
Lifetime best performance. Let every day be your lifetime best performance. It's possible. Winning is being better today than you were yesterday. That's the definition of winning. Stick to it. It will help you. You cannot perform better if you are not challenged. To some extent, I'm challenged today. I usually don't do lectures like this, so it's a challenge for me as well. I'm not a YouTuber. I only have like 5-6 videos on YouTube. But if you scan this QR code, you'll get to my YouTube page with conference videos. And you can see, for instance, the one on the top is when I spoke about sanctions, about the war of Russia against Ukraine. That was a very emotional moment for me. It happened in 2022, mid of the year. And you can see the video in the middle is from Odesa Maritime Days or Grain Forum. It was about, I think, 10 years ago. Number 4 is all about AI technologies and their application in the insurance and maritime claims. And the last one is from Shanghai. I spoke about mathematical modeling of a dry bulk global shipping business. So that is more mathematical and very, very commercial. And you can also hear something about hedging and derivatives there. So welcome to those few videos. And if you want to learn more and if you want to see something else from me. I thank you again very much. Щиро дякую. Once again, you can add me on LinkedIn. We can get connected. I try to be responsive on LinkedIn. So if you need some advice or help, I'm very open to that. Feel free to like, comment, send me private messages. And I hope you enjoyed this presentation. It was pretty long. I feel exhausted, but I feel happy at the same time. Q&A, questions and answers. Thanks again. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.
I just want to say thank you, Mike, for this performance, we can say. It was interesting and inspiring at the same time. Thank you, Mike, again, for being our ambassador, we can say, since the first years of this initiative. We are glad to welcome you at any time. Thank you for your support and thank you for your openness to our students and to our universities.
Thank you, Valeria. Thank you, everyone in the audience. It's my pleasure and my honor to be here with you today. I also have only positive emotions, so I'm sending my heart to you. Yeah, I think this marks the end of our today's session.
Bye.
Thank you very much.